Colonel, Israel now says after that saw the footage, the raw body cam footage from the terrorists, that, quote, our path in this war against this evil is justified. Colonel, but now you hear confusion about the White House calling for a ceasefire. What do you think?
I'm not sure that the White House is calling for a ceasefire as much as a humanitarian pause, because actually Netanyahu himself said there's absolutely not going to be any kind of a ceasefire. Their objective is the destruction of Hamas, so there's no one to negotiate with, and they don't want to negotiate, in large part because of what you just showed there, the outrage of the brutality that was inflicted upon the Israeli citizens. That's what they're going to go into. But I do think that there is, as an American and as just as a human person, we also don't want the large numbers of Palestinian civilians to pay an inordinate price also for what Hamas has done, because they're just as innocent as the Israeli people. So I think it's just and good for the United States to say, hey, just have this pause. And we're talking like
but the
hours,
Palestinians,
12,
yeah,
4 hours
but
to
Colonel,
help the people get in.
The Palestinians elected Hamas and kept Hamas in power.
They sure did. There's no doubt, but they don't deserve to be just literally slaughtered in large numbers either, just because they hire these political people.
Understood.
And that was, by the way, that was in 2007, and they haven't been allowed to vote since.
You know, the White House has been criticized for appeasing Iran, letting it get nearly $100 billion in reserves. We've got a new United Nations report says Iran's executions of civilians are up 30%, that Iran is carrying out executions at a, quote, alarming rate. What do you think of that, Colonel?
You know, obviously, that's a hideous thing as well, and certainly, unfortunately, not surprising, because Iran has had very little regard for their own citizens for quite a long time, and lots of them have continued to be made political prisoners or just being killed, as we saw graphically about a year ago. But the United States has to be careful that we have to think strategically and not just emotionally based on a lot of these things, because we need to continue to deter Iran, which we definitely can do with our existing force structure. But we don't want to get caught up in emotions where we may end up striking Iran in regards to some of the other things Hamas did that could get us drawn into a war, because that would be a big loss for us. And that would, frankly, be a win for Hamas. Is exactly what they want to do.